Does any honourable member have a petition to present? The honourable member for Huon.
Mr. President, I have the honour to present an e-petition from 144 citizens of Tasmania calling for the preservation of Garden Island Creek and Garden Island Sands from erosion and the provision of safe beach access.
To the Honourable the President and members of the Legislative Council, your petition has drawn to the attention of the House foreshore erosion issues due to sea level rise currently affecting the residents of and visitors to Garden Island Creek and Garden Island Sands. The foreshore is eroding at a rapid rate, the banks have destabilised, causing many large trees to fall into the water, creating hazardous debris. The boat ramp, which was damaged by sea level rise and storm activity, was recently removed, leaving beach access in an unsafe condition and not permitting access by children, the elderly or people with a disability. Domestic septic systems are becoming closer to the receding shoreline and may soon pose a threat to human health and the environment if erosion control measures are not enacted. The report by SGS Economics and Planning 2015, Garden Island Creek Coastal Adaptation Pathways, final report to Huon Valley Council and the Tasmanian Climate Change Office outlined how the lowest cost pathway of coastal adaptation for this community was to protect existing development for as long as possible while protecting natural values. To date, no measures have been taken. Erosion has proceeded and is now considerably worse than when the above report was written. Your petitioners therefore call on the government to make funds available to begin a strategic approach to prevent beach erosion, as has been discussed in previous reports, as well as restoring safe beach access, the boat ramp, addressing fire safety concerns and implementing beach nourishment measures to restore a community space that has been enjoyed for generations.
Mr. President, I move that the e-petition be received.
The question is that that motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. Does any honourable member have a notice of question? Does any honourable member have a notice of motion? The honourable member for Windermere.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I give notice that tomorrow I shall move that the annual report of the Department of Police, Fire and Emergency Management 2019-2020 be considered and noted. And I have a second motion, Mr. President, if I can move that.
Yes, of course, honourable member.
I give notice that tomorrow I shall move that the annual report of the Macquarie Point Development Corporation 2019-2020 be considered and noted.
And the legislation to wind it up table.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Answers to questions?
I have no answers to questions, Mr. President.
Tabling of papers.
As required by law, I lay upon the table of the Council the Ombudsman Tasmania Annual Report 2019-2020 and a notice of transfer of equity to Tasmanian Railways Proprietary Limited from Sustainable Timber Tasmania under the Government Business Enterprises Act 1995.
A message from Government House. A bill for an act to amend the Neighbourhood Disputes about Plants Act 2017, a bill for an act to amend the Teachers Registration Act 2000, a bill for an act to amend the State Service Act 2000 and the State Service Regulations 2011, a bill for an act to amend the Architects Act 1929, a bill for an act to amend the Rail Safety National Law Tasmania Act 2012, a bill for an act to amend the Vehicle and Traffic Act 1999, the Vehicle Traders Act 2011 and the Taxi and Hire Vehicle Industries Act 2008 and various regulations, a bill for an act to amend the Evidence, Children and Special Witnesses Act 2001, the Criminal Code Act 1924 and the Legal Aid Commission Act 1990, a bill for an act to wind up the Anzac Day Trust and Anzac Day Trust Fund to amend the Anzac Day Observance Act 1929, a bill for an act to amend the Economic Regulator Act 2009, the Passenger Transport Services Act 2011 and the Taxi and Hire Vehicle Industries Act 2008, a bill for an act to amend the Bail Act 1994, the Criminal Code Act 1924, the Criminal Justice Mental Impairment Act 1999, the Justices Act 1959, the Misuse of Drugs Act 2001, the Police Offences Act 1935 and the Sentencing Act 1997, A bill for an act to amend the Residential Tenancy Act 1997. A bill for an act to amend the Environmental Management and Pollution Control Act 1994, the Land Use Planning and Approvals Act 1993, the Local Government Building and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1993, the Nature Conservation Act 2002, the Strata Titles Act 1998 and the Water and Sewerage Industry Act 2008. Having been presented to the Governor for the royal assent, she has, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, assented to the said bills, signed at Government House, Hobart, the 17th of November 2020. Honourable Leader.
Mr President, I seek leave to move a motion without notice.
The Honourable Leader seeks leave. The question is leave granted? Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. Honourable Leader.
Mr President, I move that the Honourable Member for Pembroke, Ms Seeker, be granted absence of leave from the service of the Council for today's sitting.
The question is that motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. Honourable Members, before we move on to special interest matters for the day, I'd just like to thank those that responded to the email I sent in regard to the letter from the Speaker and the resolution of the House of Assembly to fly the Aboriginal flag. The responses I received were positive, and I've communicated to the Speaker that the Legislative Council concurs with the opinion expressed in paragraph 9 of the letter. It is special interest time, and to get us started today, it's the Honourable Member for Huon.
Thank you very much, Mr President. Mr President, it's a privilege to have presented my first e-petition from the electorate of Huon to the House earlier this morning, and it is a privilege to speak on behalf of my fabulous constituents of the Garden Island Creek community. Honourable Members, in my inaugural speech, I proudly pointed out that I was very lucky to live in Tasmania's most spectacular electorate. The Huon Valley is an area of outstanding beauty, and it is Tasmania's natural treasure chest.
I was there on Saturday. It was very nice.
You might not get the invitation to King Island. So.
I will repeat that over and over again in the next 6 years, honourable members. Garden Island Creek is a little gem nestled between Randalls Bay and Charlotte Cove in the southeast of the valley. Home to over 24 and often young families, the secluded beach and shallow yet clear waters have attracted many shack owners over the years. It is a vibrant little community and just a lovely spot to enjoy our Tasmanian way of life. However, the coastal environment is brittle. Climate change, rising sea levels have caused accelerated and significant foreshore erosion, and that's exactly what the local petitioners are urging the government to act on. In their petition, residents specifically raise that the foreshore is eroding at a very rapid rate. The banks have destabilised, causing large trees to fall into the water and creating hazardous debris. A boat ramp which was damaged by sea level rise and storm activity was recently removed, leaving beach access in an unsafe condition. It's almost impossible now for elderly residents or people with disabilities to access the beach safely. Furthermore, petitioners are pointing out that domestic septic systems are becoming closer to the receding shoreline and may soon pose a threat to human life and the environment if erosion control measures are not enacted. The petitioners are calling on the government to make funds available to begin a strategic approach to prevent beach erosion. The petitioners are also calling on the government to restore safe access to the beach, the boat ramp, and to address safety concerns. They urge the government to implement beach nourishment measures and to restore a community space that has been enjoyed for generations. Of course, this should not have been unexpected news to the government. The Department of Premier and Cabinet's Tasmanian Climate Change Office conducted a study of the affected area in Garden Island Creek as early as in 2015. The study included a number of private and commercial assets, public assets, natural and ecosystem services, and natural values. The study outlined that in this century alone, almost 45 private properties would be at risk of erosion and inundation. The average inundation probability for all properties were calculated as over 45%. At workshops held over 5 years ago, the community expressed significant concerns about the present-day risks. Community members reported seeing changes to the beach in the last 20 years, with some noticing erosions in the dune system that progressed between 4 to 5 meters. At least half of the erosion issues were said to have occurred over the last 5 years. At the time, 3 pathways were explored with local residents. A, protect existing development as long as practical while protecting natural values. This pathway protects property, but only where protection has minimal impact on the values of the area important to the community. B, protect existing development and permit new developments to the maximum possible extent for as long as possible. This pathway concentrates on protecting the existing and future community and property using all available options, including intensification of development work. C, let climate change take its course and retreat early. Basically, a do-nothing approach. Honourable members, it should be of no surprise that the community very much preferred option A, protecting existing development while protecting natural resources. It's the logical option that is also the most cost-effective. It's the appropriate mitigation strategy that the project consultants recommended to the government over 5 years ago. Yet, nothing has happened. No preventative mitigation has been initiated, and predictably, coastal erosion has advanced and caused substantially more damage to the community. It makes me wonder why a study was initiated in the first place, and it seems that nobody wants to act on the study report's alarming conclusion. It is disappointing, and it needs to change as a matter of urgency. Honourable members, just because it is a small rural community in the Huon does not mean we can just forget about their needs. Rural communities matter. Rural people matter. They pay the same rates, levies and substantial land taxes. They don't ask for much for return. They just want to maintain their way of life. The Garden Island Cree community just wants safe access to their beach, and they want the obvious coastal erosion issues, which have been known for years, to finally be addressed. Mr. President, I'd like to thank the Garden Island Cree community for their care and their stewardship. In particular, I would like to thank the principal petitioner, Kimberly Mendoza, as well as Sarah Ollington and John Sinnott for arranging the Inside Full community meetings. Now, it is up to the government to take action. Doing nothing is not an option. Thank you.